All right, I'm Bill Richardson, the owner and founder of Alpha Consulting Firm, and today I have with me Ian, who is the co-founder of Melting Pot Solutions, and he has been gracious enough to um, come on and do a video series with me to provide a little bit of information for those marketers out there that are new in business and really just kind of getting started and I'm learning a little bit about the coding world and what tools are the best to use. Um, I'll just take a few minutes and let him introduce himself. I will say that I came in off the streets, so if I'm a little bit hot, it is sweltering here in South Carolina. So I was glad to come inside and use his space a little bit today. But Ian, why don't you, tell the audience a little bit about yourself, your background, education, where you're from, and what you're doing.
I can tell you that, Bill. My name is Ian. I'm a co-founder of Melting Pot Solutions LLC. It's a small business located in Columbia, South Carolina, and is dedicated to creating mobile apps and websites. It mainly consists of current students and graduates of USC Columbia. I myself am a PhD student. My partner Steve is a recent graduate with his master's degree.
So what I really wanted to focus on today with Ian was some tools that he would suggest using to get started in your, representing your business in the digital space. And he had a couple ideas for you guys out there that are just now starting your own business. Ian has been a great help to me, my growth in the digital space. And of course, we look to do some projects in the future. But I'll let Ian, give you guys some advice on where he thinks y'all should get started and let him wrap it up like that.
All right, for those who just started the business in the area we do, doesn't matter if it's websites or mobile apps. If a person doesn't know how to code, there are a lot of useful platforms that he can use initially to create websites and mobile apps. For instance, for websites, it would be a good idea to use platforms like WordPress, Weebly, or Wix. They will provide you with a drag and drop interface, which is a set of tools and features that could be integrated into your web page by several mouse clicks. If you're doing the mobile app, the platform called Google Apps will be very useful. It pretty much does the same thing, although mobile apps are generally more complicated than websites, so you'll need deeper understanding. And in general, these tools will give you the opportunity to build your first several, I would say, mediocre websites. While you're doing this, your next step will be to basically learn how to code. And it should be not just learning basic programming languages like Java or Python, but getting into hybrid languages like Angular.
This is where I got my start, was working on WordPress sites. And from that point, I recognized that I needed to expand my knowledge on some of the languages. And this is where I've fallen into some spots where Ian and his partner have graciously given me some advice about the right tools and languages to use to gather the information that I'm trying to get from my clients, which is ultimately goes back to some form of lead generation. But using the WordPress sites, there are a lot of good tools to with the plugins to go ahead and get your email captures on your web pages, and create those marketing or email automation straight off of your WordPress site when you integrate it with other tools like MailChimp and some of the other platforms that are out there. I know a lot of people are using ClickFunnels right now, and Lead Pages, and all these tools can be pretty easily integrated with WordPress without having to have too much knowledge in the coding space. Is that right?
That's right. Although there is a drawback of platforms like WordPress, and the drawback is basically that Google doesn't really like them in terms of search engine optimizations, because the response time on the website is pretty slow, and Google cares about their client satisfaction, so they always put the fastest responding site on the top of their search pages.
I mean, that's something great to know, and because if you're not getting in those first few pages of Google, it can be really hard to be found.
Absolutely.
So where the WordPress sites, your Wix sites can look very aesthetically pleasing, right? They don't function as well as these custom built sites that you and your company do. So that's basically what you're getting at, right?
And aesthetic wise, they're also very limited. And the animations you use.
Right. Still a great place to get started. If you're starting your own business,
Right.
it may not be as important to you right off the get-go to have people finding you off of the front page of Google, but it's a great place to send your clients or for whatever business you're in. I mean, real estate, restaurants, it doesn't really matter. It's still a great tool that you can get up, more than likely be able to do on your own. And then once you get something up and you feel like it needs to be taken to that next level where you want a better product out there, this is where, I come in and Ian comes in and we put together projects for our clients to get them a better presence on the web. And so I've been very fortunate enough to, work with Ian and be introduced to him several months ago. He's helped me out a lot already. And I look forward to working with you in the future and hope we get some good projects.
Absolutely.
All right. Well,
Thanks,
Ian, I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Bill.
All right.